Did you know that $100,000 could completely transform your life? But 95% of people give up before they ever get close? That's right, most people are one decision away from a financial breakthrough, yet they quit when the finish line is in sight. Stick with me, because today I'm going to show you why $100,000 is more powerful than you think, and how persistence can turn that number into a game changer for your future. Let's dive into the mystery of why so many people stop short, and what you can do to make sure you're not one of them. Here's the big question. Why does $100,000 feel like such an impossible goal for so many? It's not just a number, it's a mental barrier. Most people see it as this distant, unreachable dream, like climbing Mount Everest without oxygen. They start strong, full of energy, maybe saving a few bucks here or investing in a side hustle there. But then life hits. A car breaks down, a bill comes out of nowhere, or they just get tired of grinding. And that's where the real problem kicks in: quitting too soon. Think about it. What if the moment you gave up was the moment you were one step away from a breakthrough? What if that extra push could have unlocked a life where money works for you, not against you? Let's break this down. $100,000 isn't just a stack of cash. It's freedom. It's power. It's the ability to pay off debt, start a business, or even quit a job you hate. Picture this. You wake up one morning, check your bank account, and see six figures staring back at you. No more stress about rent. No more panic when your kid needs braces or your roof starts leaking. That's what $100,000 can do. It's not about buying a yacht. It's about buying choices. But here's the kicker. Most people never get there because they don't realize how close they actually are. They're stuck in a cycle of doubt, distraction, and defeat, and they don't even see it now. Let's talk about something shocking. Did you know that the average American household has $6,000 in savings? Just $6,000? That means most people are nowhere near $100,000. Not because they can't do it, but because they've already decided it's too hard. They look at their paycheck, see the bills piling up, and think, why bother? But here's the first big surprise. You don't need to be rich to hit $100,000. You don't need a fancy degree or a corner office. What you need is a plan and the grit to stick with it. And I'm going to show you exactly how ordinary people, just like you, have done it. Let's start with Sarah. She was a single mom, working as a barista, barely making ends meet. She had no savings, no investments, nothing. But Sarah had a spark she refused to give up. She started selling handmade candles online, just a side hustle to pay the bills. At first it was slow. She made $50 one month, $200 the next. Most people would have quit right there, thinking, this is pointless. But Sarah kept going. She learned how to market her products, tweaked her designs, and by the end of year 3, her little candle business was pulling in $100,000. That's right, she went from pouring coffee to building a six-figure empire, all because she didn't stop when things got tough. Imagine Sarah sitting in her apartment, surrounded by candle wax and shipping boxes, wondering if it was worth it. Now imagine her checking her bank account and seeing $100,000. That's the power of persistence. But here's where it gets wild. Sarah's story isn't unique. There's a guy named Mike, a regular dude who worked in construction. He didn't have a big salary, but he had a goal: $100,000 in the bank. Mike started investing small amounts in the stock market, nothing crazy, just $50 a month at first. He read books, watched videos, and learned about compound interest. Most of his buddies laughed at him, saying, "You're wasting your time, man." But Mike kept at it. 10 years later, he hit $100,000, and that money started working for him. He used it to buy a rental property, which now brings in passive income every month. Mike didn't have a trust fund or a lucky break. He had persistence. And that's the second big surprise. Time and consistency can turn tiny steps into massive results. So, why do most people give up? It's not just laziness, it's fear. Fear of failure, fear of looking stupid, fear that they're not good enough. Picture this. You're running a marathon, and you're at mile 20. Your legs are screaming, your lungs are burning, and you're tempted to just walk off the course. That's what chasing $100,000 feels like for most people. They hit a wall, and instead of pushing through, they tell themselves, I'm not cut out for this. But here's the truth. That wall is an illusion. It's your brain tricking you into thinking you can't do it. The third big surprise? The moment you feel like quitting is usually when you're closest to winning. Studies show that people who stick with their goals, whether it's saving, investing, or building a business, are 80% more likely to achieve financial milestones like $100,000 than those who give up early. Now, let's get practical. How do you actually get to $100,000? First, you need a clear goal. Write it down. I will have $100,000 by this date. Make it real. Next, break it into bite-sized pieces. If you want to hit $100,000 in 5 years, that's $20,000 a year, or about $1,667 a month. Sounds like a lot, right? But what if you cut $500 from your monthly expenses, maybe skip eating out, or cancel that streaming service you barely use? Then, what if you add $500 from a side hustle, like freelancing or driving for a rideshare app? Suddenly, you're halfway there. Invest that money wisely, say, in a low-cost index fund with an average 7% return and compound interest. Starts doing the heavy lifting. This isn't magic, it's math. And the best part? Anyone can do it. But here's where it gets even crazier. Once you hit $100,000, something incredible happens. It starts to grow on its own. Imagine planting a seed and watching it turn into a tree that keeps producing fruit year after year. That's what $100,000 does, at a 7% annual return. Your $100,000 could double to $200,000 in about 10 years without you lifting a finger. That's the ripple effect of hitting this milestone. It's not just about the money, it's about what it unlocks. Want to start a business? $100,000 gives you the capital. Want to travel the world? $100,000 gives you the freedom. Want to retire early? $100,000 is your launch pad. But none of this happens if you quit when the going gets tough. Let's talk about one more story, because this one will blow your mind. Meet Lisa, a teacher who never earned more than $50,000 a year. She started saving 10% of her income in her 20s, putting it into a retirement account. Her friends were out buying new cars and taking fancy vacations, but Lisa stayed focused. By her 40s, she had $100,000, and that grew into a portfolio worth over $500,000. She retired early, moved to a beach town, and now spends her days painting and volunteering. Lisa didn't win the lottery or inherit a fortune, she just kept going. And that's the secret. Persistence turns small actions into life-changing results. So, what's holding you back? Maybe it's the voice in your head saying, I don't have enough time or I'm not smart enough. Let me tell you something. Those are lies. Everyone starts somewhere. Sarah started with candles. Mike started with $50. Lisa started with 10% of her paycheck. The only difference between them and the people who never make it is that they didn't quit. They faced the same doubts, the same setbacks, the same temptations to give up, but they kept their eyes on the prize, and you can too. Here's your next step. Right now, grab a piece of paper or open your phone and write down one thing you can do today to move closer to $100,000. Maybe it's cutting one unnecessary expense. Maybe it's researching a side hustle. Maybe it's opening an investment account. Whatever it is, do it. Because every small step you take today is a step toward a future where money isn't a cog, it's a key. And don't let anyone tell you it's impossible. The only thing standing between you and $100,000 is time and persistence. If you found this video eye-opening, you're going to love what we've got coming next. We're diving into another financial secret that could change the way you think about money forever. Hit that like button if you're ready to take control of your future, and smash that subscribe button to join our community of people who refuse to give up. Let's keep pushing toward that $100,000 together.